he could have taken care of those things. Only he can move and have a way of being, and such is happening right now on this planet. And I thank him for that. The reason why, because I'm in him and he's in me, and because of that, we become one, and we make things happen for the people. Tonight is such a beautiful night, because as I do sit and look around at the accomplishments, I'm looking at crates that I have stacked up. I have stacked these crates up because inside these crates, there are many of yours information based upon your desires, based upon your heart's desires. A lot of the crates, when I say having heart's desires in them, they have a lot of your applications. They have a lot of your paperwork in it based upon your complaints. Those complaints have been, each one of them have been dissected. It has been looked at. It has been read. And it is on the top of a desk crate. This desk crate holds these documents based on the fact, because it's not only your complaint, but you have given not only your complaints by way of word and paperwork, but you have also given your intent by way of paperwork and words on this paperwork. You have went to the full extent of talking about the problems and situations that you're going through. And you didn't just stop there, but you gave an intent. You gave the reasons why you were going through it, and you believe you were giving something that is known as a solution. And I agree with the majority of the readings that I've read. I agree with that solution. And I can tell you that even though I go through all the records and I go back through them from time to time looking at certain names, you know, I see names all over them that I remember the names, even I have matched them with your voices. And I look at those and I say that your decision-making process was beautiful. I say to you that your intent of what you expect to come out of this at the end of the day, I can tell you is brilliant. It's excellent. I know that as I bring it before those now that I've put together, and I've gathered them all together, and I've been speaking to them one-on-one and beginning to bring them into a group of what we know them to be the 24 elders. Not only am I having the 24 elders that I will be bringing forth, but I will also be bringing those that are known as the justices, the 15 true justices of the University World Court. Now, as I began to talk more and more, and I have to let you know, communicating across the airways, not only the airways, but the byways, the sideways, and even those that have been left out in the cold. I'm talking to different nations based upon them giving their elders. They have given us enough elders now to make up a full count of 24 elders, along with the foreign nations and along with the people that we have assembled here in the United States. So we have enough of individuals to be the 24 elders. I need some others, though, elderly people. I need you to stand by, not because we expect to replace any of the ones that we already have, but we also know that you will be able to connect with those 24 elders in which we have chosen so carefully based upon the true word of Yah, that we will be able to use your advice, your delicate advice is just as important to us. And as we have assembled the majority of our judges, we are still going to reach out to others based on the fact we need to have our judges standing by. Those that are truly in Yah, those that are truly in YHWH, those that are truly in the law. We need you to be standing by because we still need your guidance. We need your acceptance. We need your understanding. Just to move forward as we're moving forward, that we might be able to render a true judgment based upon decision-making process. Now, we know that we have more than enough to accomplish this mission in which we are accomplishing as we speak, because now there are those of them that have been given opportunity to get rest. They are resting well, that they will be able to give a sound decision. They will be able to give a final judgment. And as we have been reading the judgments in which we already have accomplished, we are signing off on them. Every one of the judges will be given an opportunity to just not only sign off on it, but you have to understand that as I go along with them, they are pretty sure that they understand now that I give them something that is known as asking them for a brief. I ask them a brief based upon certain books of the Bible because I want to understand exactly how they are relating to my Father. I want to know from them exactly how are they hearing him based upon what man in himself believed to be his true connection to God. I ask them for their opinion based upon that. Their opinions to me become judgment based upon the fact if I can link it to something that I know my Father has already said and it has already been written, then I can only use their opinion as a judgment. And any time that it comes over where it does not line up upon line, anywhere it does not come where it's precept upon precept, then I make sure that I render it only as an opinion and not as a judgment. This is how my Father is operating in the world. And I had someone come to me earlier talking about the 24 elders because they couldn't understand exactly what the 24 elders were and why are they so important. So I had to explain to them. You have to understand that the Holy Bible is real. You have to understand that all the Holy Scriptures are real and they're true. It's up to man to be able to determine them properly and correctly. properly and correctly are two different things. I would say that the average one of the ministers that are out there, and notice I did say the average because the majority of them consider themselves to be above average, but the average one out there is still properly doing it, but they are not correctly interpreting it. They're properly giving it out based upon what they truly think it's saying. But when it comes to interpretation based upon correctness, they are still falling far short. Such as with the 24 elders. The 24 elders are not angels. We can truly prove that based upon the 24 elders being someone that the book keeps telling them in Revelation, they will be clothed in white garments. It tells them that they will be wearing golden crowns on their heads. I don't know if they ever checked, but angels don't wear white garments. They depict them as wearing white garments a lot of times. I don't know if they ever seen a whole lot of angels, but I haven't seen many of them wearing golden crowns, not on their heads. I know for a fact that if they read the scriptures and know how to truly interpret them, they will hear it talking about the 24 elders. It tells them that these 24 elders are not angels because they are someone that will be representing the redeemed. The redeemed comes from mankind, not from angels. Angels don't need redemption, especially those that have fallen. They're going to get punishment. Those who have not failed and they have always been in heaven, they're not going to have to worry about sitting on thrones either. So those thrones will be down here on earth, not in heaven. And if you happen to be one of those that contest what I'm saying, then you might also want to read the book again. Because it tells you that they will be sitting on earth. Because those books will be open here on earth. They will be open and they will be given a judgment here on earth by the Father. It says that he will be sitting, and then there shall be 24 elders sitting on thrones. So all these things are going to be taking place here on earth. And if you might want to check out that there are 5 times that is mentioned in the book of Revelations. You will find it in Revelations 4 and 4. You will find it in Revelations 10, 5 and 8. 5 and 8. Chapter 5, verse 8. You will find it in chapter 4, verse 4 through 10. You will find them talking about the 24 elders again in Revelations 11, chapter 16, verse and down. You will find it again talking about the 24 elders, 19 and 4. If you read those particular scriptures, you will realize that it's talking about redemption. You will find that it's talking about man's redemption. And again, I say, the angels cannot redeem man. Man must redeem himself according to his repentance. It also goes to the extent of talking about the 24 elders that will be present. Therefore, they will support the fact that they will be part of something known as Christ's bride. You have to understand that this will come after the tribulation. The angels are not part of the tribulation. They are the ones that will be up fighting the war, fighting the battle. The church knows, that's known as those who are one mind, one heart, and one spirit. That is the church. The church knows that. There will be those, again, I repeat, that are of one heart, one mind, and one spirit. These are mankind, not angels. I know there are those that think that angels would be the 24 elders. Not so. Because the book has already proven that. There's a man by the name of John MacArthur. John MacArthur, he makes a strong case that the 24 elders represent a complete body of redeemed humanity. But at this point in future history, he said it could only be the church. I tell him this is true. But the church is not one of those buildings in which you go to. For we must understand that even the church itself will tell you that the church resides inside of the individual. It is not inside a building. And according to the book, it is not a building that's made by hands, but it's a building that will be eternally in the heavens. And heaven would be right here on earth. We understand that the scripture goes to the point of telling us throughout history that redemption will be not just only the church, but it will be all mankind. This is part of what we know it to be. This is the truth. It goes on to talk to us about the 24 elders must be composed of all the redeemed, both Israel, which will be the children of Jacob, to include the church. That is those that have been what we consider to be redeemed based upon repentance. So the reason I'm talking about the 24 elders right now at this moment in time, because it gets to a point where it tells you that all these things are true. Based upon Revelations 5 and 5, it'll tell you exactly what individuals are and how they shall act and the way they will get there. Based upon the elders, say, stop weeping, behold, the lion that is from the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has overcome, so as to open the book and its 7 seals. You will find this written in Revelation 5 and 5, where it starts, and reading downward. It tells you exactly that they were talking to a man by the name of John, and they were telling John to stop weeping. The reason they were telling John not the weak, because they were telling John that the redeemed, the one that would redeem the people, had already come, and that person would be able to open the book. He would be able to open the 7 seals. They explained this to John based upon the fact they were telling him not to cry. They were telling him the fact that it was appropriate for a redeemer individual to note that the Lamb of God, the one that they were calling by the name of Yahoshua, was the one qualified to open the scroll. That the scroll, they were also explaining to him that it was the title deed to the planet Earth. I will repeat that. They were explaining to him that it was the title deed to the planet Earth. In other words, they were telling him this was something that was known as a treaty for the planet Earth. They were letting him know that this treaty was by way of land and that it belonged to the planet Earth based upon this individual in whom they were talking to, Yahoshua Mashiach. This is what was taking place. And they told him that he was the only one, the Lamb, which was worthy to open these 7 seals. Now the 7 seals are being opened. They are being opened as we speak. Now, the serious reason for the 24 elders cannot be represented simply only with redeemed mankind as a whole, which would include Israel, is because the redemption of those people is not yet complete by Revelation 4. It's only until after the second coming would that have even taken place. This is the second coming. This is when that will be completed. Based upon Revelation, the 4th chapter, it even tells them that during that time, the chapter 4, the redemption was not yet completed. It was explained to them that after the second coming, that redemption would take place. This is the second coming. At this time, with the 24 elders being placed in their places now, we can now say that I am here. I am here. Rest in the YHWH's name, Yah. For he can again say, I am here. This is what's taking place with the 24 elders. So we can assure ourselves now that the 24 elders are in place. They are poised to do their job. Their job is to sit there and give kind advice, to give honest advice, to give true advice, to give advice of peace, to give advice of love, to give advice of truth, to give advice of freedom, and to give advice of justice. That is why the 24 elders are now sitting in their place, poised to do their job. And they have some people, they have somebody, they have some more mankind that are poised to listen, that they might do their job. And that is known as the 15 judges of the Universal World Court, known as the Court of God. They will be sitting in their places, robed and clothed in their kind, just to make sure that they dot every I and that they cross every T, and that they remain with one another based upon the fact that they will draw a line where it will be line upon line, and they will come up with a conception and a precept, that it will be a preception upon preception. That will be precept upon precept and line upon line. And then you will see them do their job according to what the word has been given long before now. Now, the reason I had to explain that to the people, because a lot of people are still saying, well, I haven't seen any results yet. Well, I need to let the people know that the results that you're waiting to see is going to come rapid. It's going to come quick, and it will be swift. My advice to you is that when you see it from a distance. Do not get close to trying to see it. Do not move yourself in that vicinity of seeing it, because it is not going to be anything pretty nor nice from that area. So I would tell you to see it from a distance. If we might travel back in time, and you know I don't like doing time because I don't like numbers. I can do them. It's not for me to do them because I'm not the called one for the numbers. But I can do them. I can explain to you that last Friday, even the United States of America said that they noticed that there were a naval ship. Not just one, but they said there were many naval ships. These naval ships were not United States naval ships. They were known as Chinese naval ships. And they said these naval ships were seen about 12 nautical miles from the American soil. We would just tell you that it was right outside of a place or a state they call Alaska. I can assure you that as the United States delegates said, or the ones that were supposedly watching out for everybody said, was not true. They're saying that they were there only for a reason of just riding around, joyriding. I can tell you that they were there for much more than that. This U.S. official that was speaking was doing it on the conditions that he said the Chinese naval movements, this group of 5 Chinese vessels that he said that he had seen, that they passed within 12 nautical miles of an island, that he even gave the name of a lieutenant. And he said that these 5 vessels was following a joint group of people, which was known as the Russian and the Chinese military exercise. Now, he said they were only there at first joyriding. But they said it was kind of strange because they were there during the time when their United States president was visiting Alaska at the same time. They're saying that he even saw them himself. I can't contest to that. I cannot say if he saw them or not. I can tell you that, yes, they were there. I can tell you that they were there in Russia and China because they're known as the two of the great beasts. If you might understand that just a little ways off from there, the waters off Alaska, the activities of the U.S. ships were also off the coast of Iran. So Iran being part of what I know it to be, the third beast, which is combined with the United Kingdom, that's along with someone that's now trying to pull them in as an ally, the U.S. of A., and those that are known as the EU, United. But by the time we finish this, we will realize that that was known as the third beast. Two of those beasts will find themselves gathering together, which will be the United States and the UK, and they will get themselves away from Iran, and they will move away from those people that they consider to be the EU, which will be the lion that will be left by itself, and they will form one, the last great beast, the fourth beast, which they would consider to be the beast of a man, or known as a dragon. So the first two beasts, we know them to be separate, but they will fight together. That is known as the leopard and the bear. And the leopard and the bear will fight together, and you will see the lion. He will come to a point where he will lie down along with them. That is when they were considered to be the lion and the lamb. They will lie down together. Yes, you know, it's kind of strange that I have to give the people this type of interpretation because it's so elementary until even it seems that those that have been preaching this for years, and especially coming from a city as great as it said is that it sits on the hill, and it says that it has never, ever had any rain upon it. It says that it has never fallen, that it will always stand. It's kind of strange that it's been around for 800 years and it has not yet been able to interpret these things that I'm interpreting now in such an elementary manner. Tells me that either they didn't know how to interpret it or they didn't want to interpret it. I'll let them answer for themselves. These four beasts, they will be battling very soon. I can tell you that the reason those ships came so close to the American soil, this American soil, they came so close to it was a test of how long it takes to make a complete trip from where they're at to where they're headed and to where they need to be to take care of business. That's what that was. They wasn't lost, and they wasn't out just joyriding. Again, that was a test so they can tell how long it takes to get from one point to the other point. This is part of the greatest tactics that the military has ever had. It starts out on a mission before the mission ever starts, just to make sure that they can easily properly set up. Yes, I've been in the military, and I can tell you that all of those that have been in the military, they can tell you we have field exercises all the time. Those field exercises not to fight a battle. It's to get prepared when the battle does start. This is what it's all about. I can say, how so? How so can they believe that these battleships can come so close and yet still not fire missiles or not to drop a round on you? Because they're not trying to. These are called field exercises that will prepare them for the battle. And yes, they will be prepared. I can tell you that he said that it was an incident, and especially the lack of a dramatic U.S. response could also have a softening effect on China's position on maritime disputes in the South China Sea. I can tell him, not a chance. Because they're not about to fall for your so-called maneuvers or not moving just because you think that they're going to become weak and passive to the way you didn't react. They're going to take your non-action as the way they have taken everything else you've done. Fake, untrue, liar, deceiver. And they're going to make sure that they keep that in mind. And by the way, just in case you understand that you said that Beijing announced plans this week to cut 300,000 soldiers from Chinese armed forces, I need you to understand that if you think that they're doing that as an understatement or to make you feel better, you need to realize again that they have over a 2 billion man army. And notice I said over 2 billion, not just 2 billion man army. You need to realize that it is over that count. So 300,000 will not give you a chance to even be able to come into their side door, let alone their back door. These are the things that's happening now upon this planet that's going to kick off Armageddon, the one that's known as the Battle of Armageddon. This is what's about to take place. Yes, I know there's those that possibly don't want me to say what I'm saying. I don't get an opportunity. I don't get a choice but to say what I'm saying because I am not commanded by man. I am commanded by YHWH, God, Yah, the true God of the universe, the only God of the universe, the one and only God of the universe. And whatever he has told me to say, I must say, irregardless of who may have a disagreement with it. So I must say to those that are out there that are saying to me that they're afraid of the war, I'm saying to you that perfect love casts out all fear. You do not have to be in fear of the God in whom you love. Remember, you are not one of those ones that are saying that you love him with your mouth, but denying him with your heart. You're loving him with your whole heart, so you don't have anything to worry about. These things that I am reading, these things that I'm saying, these things that I'm bringing forth to mankind, I'm talking to those mankind who have that evil intent in their heart. I'm saying what I'm saying to those mankind who now have said that they love God with their lips, but they deny him with their hearts. I'm saying the things that I'm saying to the wicked. And remember, Even the word has told you that there will come a time when the wicked would cease from troubling and the weary will be at rest. Even the word has told you that. So I say to the wicked, your time is coming that you will be at rest. It's just not the kind of rest that you expected to get, because your rest is going to be a long rest. It's going to be a rest of everlasting torment based upon my Father's true word. These are not the rest. These are promises. He has promised you this. For everything that you have asked for, he shall give you with a kiss. There's a promise with a kiss. So you can get prepared for it. These things that we have been through in the past week has been very major. I am still communicating with all of the sides, trying to make sure that there be peace for the righteous rather than war. I'm trying to make sure that there be justice for the righteous rather than unjust. I'm trying to make sure, and notice, I'm using the word try, because I'm going to get to a point here and I'm going to mention one of my sisters. And the reason I'm going to mention her is because she has taught me that when we use that word, we have to clear it up. And the way we have to clear it up by letting everyone know that every time I've used that word is because it is already happening as we speak. Thereby, we can change that word and say, I am doing it. It is happening. The reason I did that is because I want to mention that tonight she has even given me the words to let me know that her significant other, that I was once just the other day praying that he'd be okay and that everything be fine. And we had said to ourselves, everything was good. It was fine. It was okay. I can tell you that he texted me just a little while ago telling me that he was at home and everything was fine. I love this because that gives me a true feeling of knowing that what my Father is doing, no man can stop it. We already know this. We already have this confidence in us. What we like is when others can see it. What we love is when others can watch what we're saying out of our mouth happen. That's when we can stand up and be proud to know that when our Father said, for these things I do are not for you, but it's for those that are present that they may come to know that I am God. This is when we feel great. When our Father will walk out and show the nail prints in his hand and show the nail prints in his feet, and he still get those people that still say, I don't believe it. That is the people that right after they say that, their blood begins to drip out of their ears. It starts falling out their nose. And the first thing they do is they fall on their knees and start hollering, save me, oh Lord. They're the ones that once the blood starts to subside, it stops dripping. It goes back to their nose where it came from. The blood goes back into their ears where it came from, and then they reach up and feel. And it seems that nothing has ever happened. These are the ones then that we know that he has done that to them, that they may come to believe. And they better believe. Because if they don't, they'll see everything that he has promised them once again. These people now that are walking around talking about they don't believe, they will. Oh, I guarantee you they will. They can't explain no more than you can explain why they keep saying comments. They can't explain no more than you can why they keep seeing strange clouds just show up and leave at will. They can't explain no more than you can why they can't stop tornadoes and hurricanes from passing over one house and hitting their house. They cannot yet explain that. They won't be able to. I can guarantee them that, because they're going to see much more of that. Just as they can't explain why those vehicles, those vessels, those boats, they call them, they can't explain even why they come so close to their shore. They can't explain that. And they think that it's just a great show of kindness or a great show of, oh, we're here, but we won't bother you. They can't even explain the fact that they're making preparations. They're measuring their distance. They're measuring how long it takes to get there, because they do numbers. They love doing numbers. They're going to measure how long it takes them to get there. They're going to measure how long and how much time it takes for them to send something towards your way and see how quick that it does get there. You best be ready. Those are the wicked. Because I can assure you that they're not coming to fight the righteous. They're coming to fight the wicked. They're coming to fight those that have been in opposition to them, who has been stealing from them, who have taken from them, who has been in their shores, in their oceans, and been dripping and draining out their oceans and their bottom floors as well. At the same time telling them, don't drill. But at the same time, they've been drilling. They're coming to get those that have told them, do not build underwater. And they've gone underwater just like you have, and they have found your building. And they found your little stickers on the side of them saying made in USA. They have gone under the water just like you have. Not only that, you need to understand that while you are walking out of your space station, they are on the other side of the moon walking out of their space station. And just as you have told them not to do it, they have already done it as well. And they have saw you doing it. You must understand now that your confusion that you have tried to place upon them, they have brought it straight to your door front. And they have tried to explain to you that you can fool some of the people some of the time. Not all the people all the time. And even with the laws in which you have set up, you have set those laws across boundaries. You have set those laws across nations. You have walked in and sat down with them at tables and said that you were in agreement not to do it, only to walk out the side door smiling and laughing and saying, we're going to do it anyway. And little that you know, that some of those that walked outside door with you smiling, they were the very ones that turned you in. Because you have to remember, just like you like that eagle and you like holding on to him until he grants. It comes on something known to you as a greenback dollar. And those that walked out with you loved it more than they loved you in your conversation as well. And yes, they done what the young people said. They sold you out. So you have to understand now the urgency of you doing what you said you was going to do. The urgency that you said you was going to return back to all the people, everything that you had taken from them. You must understand the urgency that you told the people that you were going to make a change. You must understand the urgency that you told the people that you were going to redistribute the wealth. You must understand the urgency because the people are going to receive this whether you do nothing or not. The people are going to receive it. But you must understand the urgency is that you are the person that needs the repentance and the redemption. And it is still time for you to be able to get yourself in the redemption line. And it's still time and urgency for you to get yourself on the repentant side so that you might be able to march in a line of redemption. It's time for you to do that. And for all of those people that you're still holding at bay by telling them nothing's going to happen, by telling them not to believe what's being said, by all of the preachers that you still have preaching your gospel, knowing that there is no truth to it, I must also bring you to your acknowledgement of your book. For those of you that are leaders and teachers, those of you that consider yourselves to be those who should bring the truth, remember that your requirement that my Father will have of you is at least 4 times that of the average person. Because you said that you were the leader. You said that you were the teacher. And if you have taught in error and if you have led in error, then you will also be led in an error by my Father, but this will be greater than 4 times for you. Because my Father has deemed you to be one who likes to crucify the people. You have been known as one of those that will persecute the people for his name's sake. It has nothing to do with that J-E-S-S word that you was using. J-U-E-S-S word that you were using. It had nothing to do with that. It had a lot to do with them calling upon the true name of God, which is Y-H-W-H-Yah. Yeah, and you have given them that word that you gave them to lighten your load, thinking that they will never find out the real word, even though it's written in the book. They will never read it for themselves. There will be no one that will come along that will give them the truth because they'll be so concerned about money. They'll be so concerned about houses. They'll be so concerned about cars. They'll be so concerned about animals. They'll be so concerned about same-sex marriages. They'll be so concerned. They'll be bogged down with trying to get a job. They'll be so concerned with just trying to feed their children. They'll be so concerned with foreign legions of people that will be coming to their land, taking over the land. They'll be so concerned about foreclosures and losing their houses in which they done spent their lives trying to rebuild and to build. They'll be so concerned of all of these things. Meantime, we can tell them what we want to tell them, and they'll stay right there, and they will never, ever look in the book of Psalms 68 and 4. They will never find his true name. They will never say the word, sing to him who rides upon the clouds by his name, Yah. They will never say that because we got them so confused. We got them so confused, they'll never read for themselves. They will all be in a coat. That coat that they will be in, they will march every Sunday, dressed up, and it's Sunday's best, we call it. And they will march themselves into a little bitty small building. And they all sit down, and they'll wait, and they'll all eat at the same time, this thing that we call communion. They all drink at the same time, this thing that we call the blood. Yeah. And by the time they get through doing that, they will be so satisfied that they'll leave out and they'll forget to read the book themselves. Once again, I can tell you that your plan of attack has been formed. It will not work. My Father will not allow it. That's the cult that you have already created. And you went to the extent of telling them that one would come that would build a cult. And every man who has come since that time to try to pick up your cult, you have either hung him on a tree or you have either ran through his house with something you call an army tank. Yes, for every man that you found that was coming to tell the people to read the book for themselves, and he began to teach them to read the book for themselves. You found time to let him find his great drink, and you decided to put something in it that would even make him disappear. Yes, you have always found time to destroy the man of God. You've always found time to get them out of the way so you can keep at your devilish ways. And I'm here to tell you that tonight, your time has come. It is drizzling. It is about to drip its way back into the ocean where it came from. By the time it gets into the ocean, it will be sucked down by a great whale, just like Jonah was. This whale will not surface until he has went to the deepest part of the ocean and spit you out. And thereby you will find yourself trying to dig your way through the bottom of the ocean to get back to something that we call land. That will not happen. Because I can tell you, as you dig down deep into that ocean bed, you're going to find out that you will find the core of the earth. And in the core of the earth, I don't know if you checked or asked the scientists or if you ever done your own research, but at the core of the earth is called something that's known as fire. And that's what you'll be digging your way to. A slow digging, but you'll get there. This is what's taking place. This is going to be the new order for the world. And you will not be ordered in it. You'll be ordered out of it. Because you're still trying to trick the people. You're still trying to hold the masses. You're giving people almost heart attacks based upon what they're drinking and what you're putting out in the air. You're making people go to the point of having high blood pressure. You're going to the point of making people's heads bang as if though their brains are going to jump out of their body, just so you can have them run down to your neighborhood hospital, so you can, again, dope them up with something that will make them forget what they're going through. Not going to happen. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. All that is within it, all that is beneath it, all that is around it, all that is above it, it belongs to Yah. And he has told you specifically that you will bring it all back. You want to change, you're going to get a change. You want redistributing, you're going to get redistributing. I can tell you, because of your wicked ways, you will realize that all of those things that would take place, you will not be a part of them. At the end of the day, you either test human based upon your own analysis, or you would test to be mankind based upon Yah, Allah, based upon God Almighty. You would test to either be mankind, I said, upon God, or you would test to be a human based upon your own acknowledgement. You know the difference between the two. You just don't want the people to know because you have something you call Webster Dictionary, and you were great at putting words in there that meant nothing to you. We are poised. We are poised because we know what we're doing to complete the process. This process is being completed in the natural. And all of your books that you're gathering together, they will be able to do nothing against the true actions of what my Father is doing in the natural. He has took forth in the spirit, and now he's taking that spirit and he's bringing it to realization. And you can see it for yourself. You have taught the people to believe in the Holy Bible, but you have given it to them as if it was a fairy tale. You make them believe that everything that they will do and everything that they will see and everything that they will be, you have made them believe that it has to be something known as a fairy tale. Because you're telling them it's supernatural. You're telling them that it's something known as symbolicism. It has no truth to it then, if that be the case. You're telling them that these 24 elders are not something that's going to take place in the natural. You're making them believe that this is a mystical world that they will be going to when there's flying angels and flying bats or whatever that will be giving the commands, that will be giving justice to mankind. And you know there's no truth to it. You know that will happen right here on this earth. You even make them believe that this Son of Man has to be one that's flying around with some robe on, with some sandals on, blonde hair and blue eyes. You have made them believe that. You have washed their minds in this constant drenching of this false lie in which you made up. And now that everybody is beginning to come to the truth for themselves, you are so afraid that they're going to find out that you was a liar. And all you're trying to do is hide by prolonging your time. I can tell you, there is not a rock. There's not a mountain. There's not a tree. No, you won't even find a bird that will pick you up on his back and fly you away from the danger in which you're about to receive from my Father. My Father is coming for you. He's coming for you. He's going to make sure you understand who he is. He's going to make you understand that the next time he tells you to do something, you will do it. And yes, he will be able to still command you while you're in hell. While you're standing in that bottomless pit falling, he will still be able to command you what to do, and you will do it. He will tell you to raise your right foot, and you will raise it. He will tell you to raise your left foot, and you will raise it. Knowing that you're in the bottomless pit still falling, you are going to follow my Father's command. Because not only is heaven his, but hell is too. You need to understand who my Father is. The earth is the Lord, and the fullness thereof. All that is within it, all that is beneath it, all that is around it, and all that is above it, it belongs to Yah Almighty. It's his. You can't take it. You can't control it. And you definitely don't get an opportunity to command it. None of those things will be in your possession. None of those things will be under your control or your command. So, as we prepare ourselves to watch all the great fireworks that will be happening around the world, no, we understand this is not the 4th of July. No, we understand this is not the 19th of June. Yeah, but we also understand this will not be December the 25th or no other holiday. But we know that this day is called the Day of Jubilee. And we know that that day is also called the year of our Lord, the year of Yah, the year of Jubilee. We know that that day is known as the day of Yah, the day of Yah, the day of Jubilee. And that day, we don't have to march anywhere. We won't have to do no sit-ins. We won't even have to sing. All we're going to do is we're going to stand by, and we're going to watch the judgment fall upon you. And after that, we're going to go about our merry business, eat, drinking, and being merry. For there will be no more of the troubles that we have gone through. And all of us that will be true believers, we will sit side by side. And the only song that we're going to be singing is the song of silence. Because we're going to be staring at each other, realizing that we all have now a new name. And we're going to realize that that new name is coming from the one in whom they know to be the righteous God, the Prince of Peace, the Counselor, the Mighty One. He has many names, but all these names to us are going to be beautiful names because we know those names are going to come from one that's going to talk to us about love, peace, truth, freedom, and justice. And he is going to be just like us, one mind, one heart, and one spirit. This is what's taking place now. And for all those people that think that they're waited too long, it's time. It's happening now as we speak. There are those that are joyful right now because of what's happening in their country and in their nation. Yes, a lot of them, I know you've been reading that they're at war, they're battling, they're fighting. But they know why they're fighting and battling. They know at the end of the war what happens after that. And for those that think that China's broke, not even. China don't use the $1. They don't care anything about it, so they're not broke. Far from that. No one is broke but the nation in which is trying to prevent everybody else from receiving. That's the only one that's broke. It's not broken money, it's broke, period. It's an opposite. And it will be deleted. And then the new ones, they will be formed. And all things will work for the good of those who believe. That's what's taking place now. If I might be able to put myself in Q&A because I know a lot of people got questions. But I need the people to understand as you come into Q&A. Right now, the answers and questions that we need to be looking at is where we're at right now. We are assessing the situation. Right now, in the great state of Maryland, I'm following along. I realized that over there they got a young man who went up on media, social media. He posted he wanted all of the Caucasian brothers and sisters destroyed. So they say, he said. That's what the people are saying. I'm just repeating after what they do. At the same time, there's a great cover-up in the state of Maryland. They didn't tell you that all of the senior officials there have been asked to account for some $170 million that they can't find. Somehow it just got off the book. They also have another problem there that they haven't told you about the judge who has been passing sentences and placing you, the young people, in jail and in prison, saying that he has cut down on juvenile crime. They're not talking about those things. They're hiding those things. These are the things I would tell you to look into while you're busy posting those things on Facebook. Post the truth. Post the truth. Post those things that nobody else is talking about, the ones that they're trying to hide. Post those. Post the ones where now they're actually in the state of Maryland. For those small crimes, men and women are at record of going to jail based upon that. Post the truth. Let them know that some of these young men and women has never, ever been in trouble before. Post the truth. They have young men because they're black men, or let's just say heavily melanated, and they're putting them in jail, sending them to prison for something that they call reefer. And at the same time, other people across the way are committing murder, and they're looking the other way. Let's just post the truth if we're going to post anything on Facebook. Facebook should change its name to Back of the Head Book. Because the only thing they done faced that's been the truth so far, and they have allowed everybody the right to be able to go on it. That's about the only truth that they have faced up to. Everything else has come by way of the back of the head. They throw it at you and expect you to turn around just before it hits you in the back of the head. I hope you probably noticed. I'm not a fan of Facebook. I was once upon a time. That was when it first started out, when I know what it was really about, just before they gave it to a young man who didn't deserve it, because he didn't create it. He took it from a group of people that did create it. And he made it his own just because he had enough money to patent it before everybody else did. And came January the 1st, 2015, he got the word first. And no matter who invented it, no matter who built it, no matter who made it, as long as you could beat the person to the assembly line and say that it was yours, you could patent it. That was as of 1 January 2015 when they came out with that law. He got the message and he ran for it quickly. This is what's been taking place all over the planet with people creations and with people inventions. Other people have been patenting them prior to the other person making it to the bank fast enough to be able to create a loan to be able to do it. What we're doing now is making sure that all of the people out here, all of the people, get the same exact truth. Citizenship trumps tribe. I don't know if anybody ever read that story. It came out on the 8th month, which was last month, on the 23rd day, 2015. They had a title that said Citizenship Trumps Tribe. It was by an editor. His name was Fred Height, F-R-E-D-H-I-A-T-T. You might want to pull his story up and read it. Fred is an editor. He does a page that they call the Washington Post. He wrote this story based upon citizenship he said Trump tried. In other words, he is one of the people that's trying to say that the birthright comes by way of citizenship and not by way of tribe. In other words, he wants to change the entire book based upon the Holy Book, based upon what the Holy Book says about the true birthright of all land. He wants to change that. He says it will abolish birthright citizenship, the principle embedded in the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution, that anyone born in the United States is an American, no matter the legal status of his or her parents. This is something that came about with Senator Ted Cruz. Promptly claimed he always opposed birthright citizenship. He did that, and he placed it in something known as the Houston Chronicle, knowing that the claim was quickly disproved. Bobby Jindal and Ben Carson joined in, as did Scott Walker, that he didn't seem entirely sure. Jeb Bush, he stayed from even dealing with that mob, they said. He wouldn't say yea or nay to it. He wanted nothing to do with it. For many other countries, what is in your blood or your DNA defines whether you can belong. He says, I was shocked that the people who had been born in Japan, and in some cases, whose parents had been born in Japan, were not Japanese citizens. He said that the fact that their ancestors had come or had been bought from Korea disqualifies them from automatically being part of the citizenship at birth in Japan. And believe it or not, it didn't stop there. You might want to get the report and read it. Again, I said it came out in the Washington Post. The title was Citizenship Trump's Tried. It was written by an editor by the name of Fred Height, F-R-E-D-H-I-A-T-T. It was August the 23rd, 2015. The reason I'm telling you that because you will find out that it's already been done, and we don't really care about what the Washington Post says, because we have already determined the one true blood, the one descent. It has already been at the Universal World Court. There's already been a judgment given on it. That judgment is final, and it will not be changed. So whatever they're talking about may be good for conversation. It may be good for something that they said that they're going to campaign on. But at the end of the day, it already has a judgment. And whatever they campaign on, they can forget it. It is already law, and it will not be changed by them. Neither any other amendments that they might want to try to add to any document. It will never happen. So this is what we are faced with on this planet. Those that think that they might be able to slip something in from the back way, because they believe that we now are just as we used to be in past days gone. They think that we only now pay attention to the front door like we used to do. They don't realize that now, because they have decided to make back doors and side doors, that we watch them to include the windows. They have forgotten that we even watch now the underground tunnel, as well as the underground side tunnel. They have forgotten now that we have become so intelligent and so mashed together based upon information that we give out the truth to everyone, that we are known as the watchers and the seers. We are not known as that because of some satanic ritual or some satanic thought based upon those names, but we are known because of that, because we are natural people. We are natural mankind. We are normal human beings based upon mankind. And we now watch all those things that we know are not of our Father, and we pay attention. And now we're paying attention to what is truth and what is not. That is what we're doing now. We will continually to do that. All 197 nations now are watching. All 197 nations now are communicating. All 197 nations now are making sure that they communicate to this one voice piece in which they're listening to now. And I thank them for being as careful as they are to tell me that we got you. I want to say to them, I got you. We got each other because we are one mind, one heart, one spirit. And no matter what language that you're speaking, you know that I understand, and I will speak it back to you when it is necessary. You already know that my Father has given us more than they can ever imagine. He has given us a spiritual understanding that now, even when we're not with each other, we are able to talk inside of each other's head. We're able to not only just talk inside of each other's head, but we can make it resonate in each other's heart. That's because we have become one mind and one heart. And now that we have been able to do that, we know that we all share the one spirit of the one that we know to be YHWH, the true God. And because of that, we know that we are one mind, one heart, and one spirit. At this time, Shelley, I will open up and listen to those who have questions and some comments And as you have told them, because of the many people that have questions and comments, I would like for us, Shelley, to look around inside of the calling, too, and find some people that we believe to be new. Find some numbers that we have never heard of, some area numbers that I've never heard before. I need to hear from some of those people because I know a lot of them are calling me even from foreign nations. And they are on the call tonight. Some of them, they do have those numbers that they've been using on their iPads and using on their pads that they're calling they have steno pads and all kinds of other pads in different nations that they're calling them by different names. And I paused then because I was trying to mention some of those names that they might understand that, yes, I can hear them. I know that they're in Africa. I know that they're in China. I know that they're in Japan. I know that they're in Bolivia. I know that they're over in Hungary. And I want them to know that, yes, I know that you don't call all of your equipment iPads. I know that you don't always have those things that we have, but you call them by another name. And I know your language, so when you call me up and you tell me what you're listening or that you're listening up to me on or you're trying to get through on, I would tell you that we will connect with you. We will make sure that we connect with you on your social media sites. We will make sure that we all are connected because we're all one mind, one heart, one spirit. So those that are on galaxy paths, we're talking to you as well. So I would say to you, look around in the queue. Let's find some of our brothers and sisters that are listening on Friday night, even though they're in foreign nations and foreign countries. A lot of them are on here, and they do have numbers that can be used in America. So let's please look around and see if we can get some new callers into it. And I've had a lot of them tell me that they've been standing in the queue for years.